If you're struggling with what to put in your nursing resume skills section, or wondering whether your current resume actually reflects your experience clearly, this video is for you. Today, we're walking through how to build a stronger nursing skills section, common mistakes nurses make, and simple ways to make your resume feel more organized and more relevant to employers. Whether you're an experienced nurse or a new grad nurse preparing for your first role, these strategies can help make your resume stronger and easier to read. So let's get into it. When writing a nursing resume, one of the most overlooked sections is the skills section. A lot of nurses either add too many skills, copy generic examples online, or list keywords that do not actually help explain their experience. And the problem is that hiring managers look at dozens, sometimes hundreds, of resumes. So, if the skills section feels random or disconnected, it can make the entire resume feel weaker. In this video, we're going to walk through how to build a stronger nursing skills section, what employers are actually looking for, common mistakes to avoid, and how new grad nurses can structure this section more effectively. And more importantly, we'll talk about how your skills section should support the rest of your resume, not try to carry it by itself. Now, before we talk about what to include, it helps to understand the actual purpose of the skills section. The goal is not to cram as many keywords as possible onto the page. The goal is clarity. A strong skills section helps employers quickly understand your clinical strengths, your familiarity with certain environments, and the tools or workflows you've worked with before. It also helps reinforce the experience already written throughout the rest of your resume. For example, if you mention telemetry monitoring inside your work experience and then list telemetry interpretation in your skills section, those sections now support each other. That creates consistency. And consistency makes a resume feel more believable and more organized. One of the biggest mistakes nurses make is filling the skills section with generic terms. Things like hard worker, team player, or good communication skills. Now, to be fair, those things do matter in healthcare, but the issue is that almost every applicant writes the same exact phrases, so those words stop adding value. Instead, employers usually care more about clinical relevance, things like patient populations, documentation systems, equipment familiarity, medication administration, prioritization, wound care, telemetry, or procedural support. Specific skills feel more credible because they connect to actual nursing work. And the more specific your resume feels, the easier it becomes for employers to picture you in the role. So, how do you make the skills section feel cleaner and more organized? One simple strategy is grouping skills into categories. Instead of creating one giant paragraph of keywords, separate your skills into sections like clinical skills, charting systems, patient care, certifications, or specialty familiarity. This makes the resume easier to scan. And that matters because hiring managers often spend very little time on an initial review. Categorizing skills also helps prevent repetition. For example, instead of listing multiple variations of documentation skills throughout the resume, you can place them neatly under one software or charting section. Small formatting improvements like this can make a resume feel significantly more professional. Now, if you're a new grad nurse, you might feel like you do not have enough experience to create a strong skills section yet. But that is actually very common, and the good news is that employers already expect new grad nurses to be earlier in their clinical development. You can still build a strong section by using clinical rotations, simulation labs, patient care experience, certifications, and electronic medical record exposure. For example, maybe you worked with post-operative patients during clinicals, assisted with medication administration, used Epic charting, or practiced patient education. Those are still relevant nursing skills. The key is presenting them honestly and clearly. A strong new grad resume is usually not about sounding experienced. It is about sounding organized, teachable, and clinically aware. Another important strategy is tailoring your skills section to the actual role you are applying for. Different nursing positions prioritize different things. A med-surg unit may focus more on prioritization and patient volume. An ICU role may emphasize critical thinking. ventilators, titration, or hemodynamic monitoring. And outpatient clinics may focus more on coordination, education, or workflow management. So before submitting your resume, spend time reviewing the job description carefully. Look for repeated terms, equipment references, patient populations, documentation systems, and procedural expectations. Then ask yourself whether your resume clearly reflects those areas honestly. Tailoring does not mean making things up. It means emphasizing the experience and skills that are most relevant to that role. At the end of the day, the strongest nursing resumes create alignment between the skills section and the experience section. Your skills section introduces capabilities. Your experience section proves them. So if you list patient education as a skill, your work experience should probably include examples of discharge teaching or communication with patients and families. If you list telemetry monitoring, your experience should support that somehow. This connection helps the resume feel more believable, more cohesive, and more intentional. And honestly, that is what separates stronger resumes from weaker ones most of the time. Not fancy wording, just clarity and consistency. So to recap, a strong nursing skills section is not about listing every possible keyword. It is about helping employers quickly understand your clinical strengths, your familiarity with certain environments, and how your experience connects together. Focus on relevant skills. Avoid overly generic phrases. Organize your sections clearly, and make sure your experience supports the skills you list. If you want additional help building your nursing resume, Charted Nurse also includes a resume builder designed to help organize your experience, skills, and resume sections more clearly. You can also join Nurses Station to connect with other nurses, share experiences, and continue learning from the community. You'll find links to everything in the description below. And if this video helped you, feel free to subscribe for more practical nursing career content from Charted Nurse. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.